Hey, what's up, guys? Scream, why am I going over this? I thought you didn't like this magazine. Well, this is actually a good issue. It's Halloween season. It's a little slightly cheaper than the Fango and much better than the Fango. So this is the other British horror magazine. Um, yeah, just for completion's sake. I know what do you want me to do going through here? Night of the Creeps. I remember this Night of the Creeps. Saw it like as usual when these films came out. I didn't see them. Didn't have cable where I grew up. But eventually I would see them on TV. Cut. And I saw this very. This is probably one of the better films that encapsulates the '80s. The gore effects are practical. There's a sense of fun. There's a humor in it, but it's not. It doesn't undermine the horror, right? Tom Atkins is in it. I liked how they paid homage to the old '50s films with the origin of it. I obviously remember this. The aliens are like these slug things that go in your mouth and then make you into a zombie, right? And then they reproduce by your head exploding. Like I said, if you this is like probably one of the top, like Return of the Living Dead. It's like that kind of film where it's like, or Fright Night, where it's funny, but the humor doesn't ever undermine the horror. So the horror is about as bad as you get in these things. So, and like I thought they had different endings, and they might have different endings to it. Lesser known '80s creatures featured. I'm always about the obscure horror stuff. I remember watching at my mom's place in Florida. And she was with me too. It was kind of funny. She was just chilling on the couch, and I was watching 50 horror films you've never seen. And I guess who saw nearly all of them? Right, yours truly. Maybe there was like two or three I hadn't seen. Right? It's kind of funny. So a lot of these are not lesser known to me, but Night of the Demon, weird film, very cheaply done, bordering on inept, but very entertaining, very gory. Like this guy's making that face for a reason. I won't tell you why. But and the Bigfoot in here, the makeup is weird. I don't know how much makeup they put on the dude. But the ending of this, even if you just go to the ending, if you see on YouTube or something, the slow motion massacre scene where the Bigfoot finally gets in to the cabin and goes after the protagonist. That was an effective scene, even with the like. You'll see what I mean if you see it for yourself. Oh, the boogans! I remember when this came out too. Now the reviewer here says, "Oh, the boogans that when you actually see them at the end, they're not that impressive." I don't agree. I think these were pretty nasty looking little creatures, but for the most part, like I remember seeing a commercial for this. Commercials were enough to scare me. The people, you don't see you see them that they see something, but they're looking at something that's obviously at a lower eye level, which these things are. Actually, they crawl on the ground, and they ambush the people in very like claustrophobic spots. So I just think it adds to the idea that you can't see what's getting these people, but they can see what's getting them. So I just much better film than the reviewer gives credit for. Um, just I think there's two killer rat movies filmed in Toronto. I don't know, but I think is this the one with the kid when it starts out with the kid in the high chair and you see the POV shot and the kid disappears. I think this is it. Dude, right now the best movie on this list was this film, The Deadly Spawn. For years, how many times have I seen this VHS cover and never rented it? I finally saw it. Saw it on BitChute actually a couple of years ago. This film, for a film that takes place over one day, pretty much shot in a house. This film is horrific. This thing just comes. There's no like. This thing just comes through and just starts eating motherfuckers. I don't know how to say it. Excuse my language. And this kid seeing his parents be eaten. Like this woman here, like, and she's not dead yet in this thing. The trauma that this kid went through, but I would say the best movie on this list This film, Rawhead Rex, Clive Barker's story. Obviously, Clive Barker was not happy with it. So, big phallus-headed, pagan, masculine demon. So you figure he would like that, but obviously he wrote it. The film, though, he didn't like the execution. I agree with the reviewer here. I thought the film was actually fine, man. He's no joke, man. He is no joke. But remember how he gets defeated, right? You know how those toxic masculine things get defeated, right? They get defeated by a woman. uh, and this is a fun film. I don't, if you, like I said, the trauma film, not as good as Toxic Avenger, still the best. But Class of Nukem High was fun. Don't see Class of Nukem High 2. That is an unwatchable film. And this is an unwatchable film for me too. I will never watch this film because to me, growing up, roaches were a thing. Okay, freaking where I lived, there were always roaches, big roaches. If you didn't cover something, if you didn't close the box of cereal enough, the damn roaches were in there. I don't even want to talk about it. So I can tell you a story of my mother screaming one night. And I came in with a baseball bat. I thought someone was breaking into the apartment. No, a giant roach had crawled on her neck. So I'll eat. And Pumpkinhead, great effects, great actor, but for some reason the movie never did nothing for me. I don't know why. Oh, look at this. The horror film Under Attack by Trump's people. Supposedly, it's gonna be banned. Fear of retaliation by Trump's supporters. I love it. So there was a one-way thing for all these years, and now the tide has turned, or so you think. So see it before banned by Trump, right? Yeah, nice selling point, guys. The Los Angeles Punk Film Festival. You guys are like so edgy. Now I haven't been on the Trump train for a while, but I will say that it is you're under attack by Trump's people. Who are those people? They're the ones attacking everybody. Who am I talking about? I can't say. It's a little thing here. James Herbert. Now I have never. I'm aware of him. This was a nice overview of someone who I don't know anything about. I don't know any of the books that he did. Maybe I'll check it out someday. But it was interesting enough to see the film adaptations. He's sort of like the Stephen King of England, of Britain. But obviously the film adaptations of his, you can argue, have not been successful. And then go Prince of Darkness. Oh man, it's an underrated John Carpenter gem. Wow, classic underrated John Carpenter film. There's about 20 of those apparently. And you're talking about it. How was it? It was sort of a stripped down film for him after the failure of the Big Trouble in Little China. Big Trouble in Little China. I remember seeing that in film. We saw it because another movie was sold out. Big Trouble in Little China. When I saw that film, that's still probably one of the best films ever made, and that's a film people forget about. So this is what he made after it was a high school. I remember this poster, cool poster. The main place you saw posters for horror films back in the day was on like bus stops and like on the subway platforms, like posters on the subway and the stations. And I remember this one, I was going to high school finally, taking the subway to high school. What could go wrong? Yeah, this film is. I mean, the sense of dread built up in this film, the weird sort of the footage, the video footage mixed in, and just the atmosphere. You're not even sure what the hell these people are getting turned into. The way they shoot like that liquid out of their mouths, just friggin'. I can't And I didn't know. It was a success film. Dismissive reviews, but good box office returns. Okay, $14 million for $2 million budget, so it was a success. Right? In the end, Carpenter, his original popularity came because he was able to make a film that was popular cheaply. But in terms of becoming an auteur and a man in himself, I argue Carpenter is one of the top guys that there was. He might be the best director, in my opinion, that ever existed. Those are some bold words. Kubrick. Whatever. Now, I actually have the collection of this guy's films, but I gotta say, man, I love DIY. I love my mother's people's homeland, although they have been, they are a shadow of what they once were. But I gotta say that I have no desire to see this. And most of the films I've seen, even the ones that are okay, are very degenerate. Okay, now this is a weird word. What am I throwing around? Isn't it all degenerate? What are you, a saint? No, no. Okay, I'm one of those guys at this point where I may not care why something is done, but what is behind something? What is the point of your degeneracy that you're showing on screen? Yeah, I guess I'm being a little. It's a question that can't be answered. I don't like the place that that the German stuff is coming from. I'll be honest. Yeah, call me a hypocrite. I don't care. This was just Raft boy, man. Obviously the Kittner boy. Right? I do some half-ass autopsy, and the little Kittner boy goes spilling out on the dock. Remember? Well, this is how the years are going by, man. But the guy had some funny stories. Obviously, one of the big ones was that when you ever see Jaws, you see people in the water. It's May, right? It's May. It's freezing cold in May, in the water. So it's funny that this kid had to, people had to pretend it was the summertime. And the scene here, when he's going up and down, there's actually guys in wetsuits pushing him up and down because they screwed up the effect before, and they had to do the filming a day. So he made $140 a day. Not bad when you're a kid, especially back in the 70s. So, and apparently, it's funny too. That tiger shark, remember that? It was hilarious. Apparently, it stunk so bad that the locals there were actually they were having some run-ins with the film crew and people. Interesting. I'm sure Spielberg, it confirmed things Spielberg probably believed about these people. Anyway, I'm actually running out of space on my phone. You believe this? I'm doing so much stuff. Kiss of the Vampire. What can I say? This is people are starting to realize, man, this is a great film. It's great because you don't have the usual faces in it, so they're able to go in a different direction with where it's like a cult of vampires, but they don't seem to be vampires all the time. Almost like a different kind of vampire where they're able to hide as humans for the most part. Of course, in the beginning of this is amazing. And of course, the climax of this is amazing. The way they stop the vampires with using their own black magic against them. And look at this. I love this. Scared to Death films. Look at this. A bloody goy film that will shock some, tillate others. Let's get the Catholics' panties all in a twist. Huh. Yeah. The Catholics are real brave, huh? So brave. You're in the UK. Why don't you get the Muslims' panties in a twist? Or better, even better, why don't you get I can't even mention the other ones. So why don't you be real brave and get their panties in a twist? You won't though, because there'll be consequences. You know what? Enough. I mean, it's like 101 already. So I didn't even want to go over that too much, but I had to say something. Anyway, and the rest, I don't know. The Dante Tomaselli, he makes music and he makes films, but another one, like he's against the Catholics. Against the Catholics. I'm not for the Catholics. I'm not against the Catholics. Enough already. You gotta let this shit go. So what's coming in the future is not gonna be Catholic. Oh, why am I bothering? And the books are bloody useless. I did it. I didn't want to go there, but I did. So freaking scream for me.